Are you a coach who likes to have a practice plan, but it often takes you way too long to create it? How would you like to have a repeatable practice plan template so that you can create your practice plans in less than 5 minutes and they will be super structured and very constructive for your kids? My name is David Klein. My players call me Captain Fun. I am a former college player and college coach. I run the largest youth baseball and softball organization in California, and I currently consult and run coaching clinics for dozens of San Francisco Bay Area Little Leagues. So this is the exact practice plan template that I give my own coaches, that I use myself, and that I also give to Little League coaches so that they can create practice plans really quickly and have a ton of structure for how they engage their kids. This practice plan template can either be used for 90-minute practices or for 2-hour practices, but the framework of the practice plan is that you split up your practice into thirds. So if you have a 90-minute practice plan, you're going to separate it into 3 30-minute segments, or if it's a 120-minute 2-hour practice plan, you're going to separate it into 3 40-minute segments. So first off, to create this practice plan, you want a printed practice plan, and you want to get to practice 20 minutes early with your coaches so that you can review the practice plan with them and then also get set up properly on the field so that the moment your kids arrive, you can immediately begin connecting with them. So the first 30 minutes of this practice plan after you get set up is connection, base running, and catch play. I like to start with connection, and we're just talking 3 to 5 minutes of sitting in a circle, getting our kids laughing, getting them talking, connecting with them before we get into coaching with them. We call this the campfire. We created it during COVID. We like to sit in a circle. We like to self-assess. We like to evaluate. We play duck, duck, goose. We ask questions. We talk about last game. We talk about goals for the day. It's a great way to start off your practice. The next part of that first third of practice is base running. And if you've been following me or have been to one of my coaches' clinics before, you know that I'm not very big on dynamic stretching. I personally find that for kids 10 and under, that base running is a far more constructive, fun, and dynamic way to engage kids and get their bodies nice and warm. Once they get to ages 11 and up, then you can get into a dynamic warm-up, but chances are below the ages of 10 and under, they're not going to be doing the dynamic warm-up correctly anyways. And the last part of your first third of practice is catch play. Now it's worded as catch play on the practice plan because it is a drill in and of itself to get better. We're not just throwing to warm up. This is moderated by a coach, and this is the most important part of practice where kids are genuinely getting better at playing catch, which at the youth level is probably the most important thing. So you just finished your first third of practice. Now you're entering your second third. You got 30 minutes. And what you're going to do is you're going to split up your kids evenly amongst the coaches. So if you have 12 kids and you have 3 coaches, you're going to go 3 groups of 4, and you're going to rotate through stations. So it'll be like hitting, outfield, infield. Maybe you'll have 2 hitting groups that rotate and then go to an outfield group. And you want to do something like 8 to 10 minutes a pop with 2 minutes of rotation time. And you're teaching a specific drill or skill in each of these stations. I have personally found that 8 minutes is the perfect amount of time to teach a skill, go through it slowly, speed it up, and then give a little feedback, and then ultimately have them compete in this skill. And that's the perfect amount of time where you don't lose energy or attention, and they're getting just a little bit of each skill before we move on to the very last part of practice. You just finished the first 2/3 of practice, and now we're getting to the last 30 minutes, the end of practice. This is where you want to bring the entire group together for a full team activity and work on things like defensive situations, maybe do a scrimmage, maybe do a speedball scrimmage, do numbered outs where they're competing to get as many outs as they can in a row. There's a number of different fun team activities that we can do to end practice with the whole team together. That's the last third of practice. And make sure that at the very end of practice, you get back in the campfire together as a team and you talk with the team and have them self-evaluate. Put a cherry on top. What did we do well? What didn't we do well? What did somebody else do well in practice that caught your eye? What do we need to do better to get ready for the game? That is the 90-minute or the 120-minute practice plan template where you're splitting it up into thirds. Every single day, Google, search, find different things that you can drop into that template, and you're gonna have some incredibly constructive, fun, and structured practices. If this content was helpful for you, please share, comment, like, subscribe, and spread this around to others. It helps so much. Thank you so much for taking this time to watch this video and for dedicating yourself to being the best coach you can be.